Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Real English. I'm Emma.
And I'm Michael. Thanks so much for being here today.
So, today we're going to talk about something that almost every English learner struggles with.
That's right. We're going to talk about the biggest problem that stops you from speaking English fluently.
And that problem is overthinking.
Exactly. Too many students spend so much time thinking about grammar or worrying about mistakes and translating in their heads that they never actually speak.
So, today's message is simple. Stop thinking, start talking.
But before we dive into the topic, let's show you some key vocabulary that we'll use in this conversation.
Take a look at the screen now. These are important words and phrases you'll hear today.
Great. Now that you've seen the key vocabulary, let's get started with the topic.
All right, Michael, let me ask you something. When you were learning English, did you ever overthink before speaking?
Oh my gosh, all the time. I would spend like 30 seconds in my head constructing the perfect sentence.
And what would happen?
By the time I was ready to speak, the conversation had already moved on.
That's so relatable. I did the same thing. I was such a perfectionist. I wanted every sentence to be grammatically perfect.
Right, but here's the problem. When you're so focused on being perfect, you freeze up. You can't speak naturally.
Exactly. And the irony is, native speakers make mistakes all the time.
So true. I say like way too much. I sometimes use wrong grammar, but I still communicate effectively.
That's the key word, communicate. The goal isn't perfect English. The goal is to get your message across.
Absolutely. So for our listeners, let me ask you, do you hesitate before speaking English? Do you worry about making mistakes?
If you do, you're not alone. This is probably the most common problem we hear from students.
And the solution is simple. You need to stop treating speaking like a test.
What do you mean?
Well, many students think speaking English is like taking an exam. They think if they make a mistake, they fail.
Oh, that's such a mental block.
Exactly. But in real life, speaking is just about exchanging ideas. Nobody is grading you.
Right. When you speak with someone, they just want to understand you. They're not counting your grammar mistakes.
So the first step to stopping overthinking is to change your mindset. Stop thinking, I need to be perfect, and start thinking, I just need to communicate.
I love that. Communication over perfection.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about another aspect of overthinking, the fear of judgment.
Ooh, this is a big one.
So, Emma, when you were learning English, were you afraid of what people would think if you made mistakes?
Absolutely. I was so scared that people would laugh at me or think I was stupid.
Same here. I remember one time I mispronounced a word and someone corrected me. I felt so embarrassed.
But looking back, was that person trying to be mean?
No, not at all. They were just helping me. But at the time, I felt judged.
That's the fear of judgment. We imagine that people are criticizing us, but most of the time, they're not.
Exactly. Most people actually admire you for speaking a second language. They don't judge you for making mistakes.
Right. I mean, think about it. If someone is speaking your native language and they make a mistake, do you laugh at them?
No, I usually think, wow, they're speaking my language. That's impressive.
Exactly. So why do we assume people will judge us?
It's all in our heads. It's our own insecurity.
So, listeners, here's something important to remember. Most people are kind. Most people will appreciate your effort. And even if someone is rude, that says more about them than about you.
Well said. Now, let's talk about another reason people overthink, trying to translate in their heads.
Oh, yes, this is huge.
So many students try to translate from their native language to English before they speak.
And what happens?
It takes forever, and sometimes the translation doesn't even make sense.
Right, because every language has its own structure, its own way of expressing ideas.
So if you translate word for word from your language to English, it often sounds unnatural.
Exactly. The solution is to start thinking in English.
But Emma, that's easier said than done. How do you actually do that?
Great question. You start small. Instead of thinking, tengo hambre, and then translating to I have hunger, which sounds weird in English, you train yourself to think directly. I'm hungry.
So you're creating a direct connection between the feeling and the English words, not going through your native language first.
Exactly. And this takes practice. Lots and lots of practice.
Which brings us to our main point. You need to speak. You can't think your way to fluency. You have to speak your way there.
Okay, Michael. So we've talked about overthinking, fear of judgment, and translating in your head. Now let's talk about the solution.
Which is just start speaking.
I know it sounds simple, but it's true.
Look, here's the reality. You will make mistakes. There's no way around it.
But that's okay. Mistakes are how you learn.
Exactly. Think about babies learning their first language. They make mistakes constantly. They say, I goed instead of I went.
Right, but they don't stop talking because they made a mistake. They just keep going.
And eventually, through trial and error, they figure it out.
So, listeners, you need to adopt that same mindset. Give yourself permission to make mistakes.
Yes, and here's something that might surprise you. When you speak with confidence, people often don't even notice small mistakes.
That's so true. Confidence makes you sound more fluent even if your grammar isn't perfect.
Absolutely. I'd rather listen to someone who speaks confidently with a few mistakes than someone who speaks perfectly but very slowly and hesitantly.
Great point. So, how do you build that confidence?
You build it by speaking. The more you speak, the more comfortable you become.
It's like learning to swim. You can read about swimming all day, but you won't actually learn until you jump in the water.
Perfect analogy. You have to take the leap.
So, where can people practice speaking if they don't have English-speaking friends?
Great question. There are so many options now.
You can find language exchange partners online, apps like HelloTalk or Tandem.
You can join English conversation groups on Discord or Reddit. You can even talk to yourself in English. Seriously, narrate what you're doing throughout the day.
I do that. When I'm cooking, I say, okay, now I'm chopping the onions. Next, I'll heat the pan.
Exactly. It sounds silly, but it's great practice.
And another tip, don't wait until you're ready. You'll never feel completely ready.
So true. I remember I kept saying, I'll start speaking English when I know more vocabulary.
But what happened?
I never felt like I knew enough. It was an excuse to stay in my comfort zone.
Exactly. You have to push yourself out of your comfort zone. That's where growth happens.
So, listeners, here's your challenge. Speak English every single day, even if it's just 5 minutes.
Yes, quality matters, but consistency matters more.
All right, Emma, let's give our listeners some practical tips for stopping overthinking and starting to speak.
Great idea. Tip number 1, lower your standards.
That sounds bad, but it's true.
I know, but what I mean is stop expecting perfection from yourself. Aim for good enough instead of perfect.
Yes, good enough is actually good enough to communicate.
Tip number 2, focus on communication, not grammar.
Right. When you're speaking, your priority is to make yourself understood. You can worry about grammar later when you're studying.
Exactly. In the moment, just get your idea across however you can.
Tip number 3, embrace mistakes as learning opportunities.
Yes, every mistake teaches you something, so don't fear them, welcome them.
I like to think of mistakes as feedback. They show you what you need to work on.
Great perspective. Tip number 4, speak before you're ready.
This is so important. Don't wait for perfect conditions, just start.
If you wait until you feel completely confident, you'll never start.
Exactly. Confidence comes from doing, not from feeling ready.
Tip number 5, record yourself speaking.
Ooh, this is a good one.
Yes, record yourself talking about your day, your opinions, anything. Then listen back.
This helps you identify patterns in your mistakes and also shows you that you actually speak better than you think.
Right. Most people are surprised when they hear themselves. They sound more fluent than they feel.
Last tip, find your why.
What do you mean?
Figure out why you want to speak English. What's your motivation?
Oh, that's smart. Because when you remember your why, it helps you push through the discomfort.
Exactly. Maybe you want to travel or get a better job or make international friends. Whatever it is, keep that in mind when you feel scared to speak.
Great advice. All right, everyone, we're coming to the end of today's episode, but before we finish, we want to leave you with some encouragement.
Yes, first, remember this. Every fluent English speaker you admire was once where you are now.
They were beginners, they made mistakes, they felt embarrassed, but they kept going.
And that's the only difference between them and someone who never improves. They didn't give up.
So don't give up on yourself. You have what it takes to speak English confidently.
Second, remember that speaking English doesn't mean speaking like a native speaker.
Right. You can speak English with an accent. You can have your own style. That's okay.
What matters is that you can communicate your ideas clearly.
Exactly. So stop comparing yourself to native speakers. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday.
Are you speaking more than you did last week? Last month? That's progress.
Yes, celebrate your progress, no matter how small.
And finally, we want to challenge you.
Here's the challenge. This week, speak English out loud for at least 5 minutes every single day.
It can be talking to yourself, recording a voice message, chatting with a language partner, anything.
But you must do it every day. No excuses.
And here's the fun part. Come back to this video in 1 week and leave a comment telling us how it went.
Yes, tell us. Did you do it? How did you feel? What did you learn?
We're really curious to hear your experiences.
All right, everyone. That's it for today's episode.
We hope this conversation gave you the push you need to stop overthinking and start talking.
Remember, you don't need permission to speak. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start.
Now, before you go, we have a question for you.
What's the biggest thing that stops you from speaking English? Is it fear of judgment, lack of confidence, not knowing enough vocabulary?
Tell us in the comments. We read every single comment, and your answer might help other students who feel the same way.
And if today's episode helped you, please hit that subscribe button.
We create new episodes every week to help you speak real, natural, confident English.
So, subscribe, turn on notifications, and join thousands of learners in our Real English community.
Thanks so much for being here today.
Remember, stop thinking, start talking. You've got this.
See you in the next episode. Bye.